My name is Sheridan Cazares. I am the Early Literacy Reading Program Specialist here at the Long Beach Public Library, which means that I end up doing a bunch of story times. I work with primarily the 0 to 5 age group, and then I kind of just do a bunch of other random things around here sometimes. And I'll let my colleague introduce himself. Oh, and my pronouns are he, him, or él in case you speak Spanish.
Hey everybody, my name is Josh. I'm the Teen Services Librarian. My pronouns are he, him, and I basically do all things related to teen services. It's in my title. Anything from our collection, the books that we have, the programs we do. I also coordinate our volunteer program. So as Sheridan mentioned, there's this volunteer opportunity, but we also have tons of other things that we offer in terms of volunteer that gets you some service hours. So yeah, happy to be here, happy to help.
Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started. This volunteer information session is all about a program that we are starting April 20th, and that program is the Young Readers Club. Some information about the Young Readers Club is basically what it's going to be is small reading groups for first grade students led by 1 or 2 teen volunteers. So you'll either be working on your own with a small group of first graders, maybe maximum 4 to 5, or you'll have another team that you're working with in that group, leading about 5 or 6 kids, first graders. And so what we're going to have going on is that we're going to meet on Zoom twice a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays from 4 to 5 p.m. From April 20th to May 27th. And you all will be facilitating Zoom breakout rooms where you work with the first graders to have them practice reading out loud, different word attack skills, and then just kind of guiding the group in extension activities based on the books that you're reading. A little bit of why we're doing this program. So first grade is kind of that year where kids start to take off and start to really build the skills that are going to help them begin to read on their own by the time that they reach the end of second and even third grade. And so for this age group, it's super crucial that they have an ample amount of reading practice. And that is a big enough task to accomplish even if there wasn't a global pandemic going on. But all these kids have been over the last year, sort of in Zoom classes as you all have been as well. And so we think that maybe this first grade group really needs a little bit of extra practice on those, primary reading skills, sounding out words, word attack skills, all that good stuff, since they might have lost a big portion of that practice because school is not actually in person and hasn't been in person this entire school year. So this is kind of what the Young Readers Club is about. We're hoping that this group setting also promotes a little bit of social emotional development. You all will sort of be seen as role models a little bit for these first graders who are starting to pick up, reading skills, since you all I think most of you all, hopefully all of you, are reading on your own at this point. So we're hoping that this all sort of creates a really good experience for the first graders and for you all as well. They get to make some friends, you get to make some friends or meet some other people that are your age, and everybody kind of just benefits from these little groups on Zoom. So that's a pretty brief description of what the program is. If you have any more questions about this particular part, feel free to put them in the chat and we will answer them at the very, very end. And then I will go ahead and I'll let Josh go ahead and we will answer any questions in the chat at the very end. Okay, so Josh is going to go ahead with the next part.
Okay, so kind of looking at things from the volunteer side, for those of you who aren't previously signed up as volunteers with the Long Beach Public Library, there is an application process. It's relatively easy. You just fill out a paper form, and what you're going to want to do is either email it to me. My information will be available at the end of the presentation. If that's not ideal, we can also provide you with a printed copy that you can drop off at one of our to-go locations. So that's what you need to do first in order to become a volunteer. And once that's all gone through, the commitment side is pretty straightforward. We're meeting for basically a total of 20 hours over the course of about 6 weeks. So that's going to start with 2 days of training. It's going to go for 1 hour. We'll have 2 sessions, so if you can't make one, there's another that's an alternative. And then once the program starts, we're going to meet twice a week on Tuesday and Thursday evenings for 1 hour. I believe it's from 4 to 5. And then we have set Saturdays for our weekly debrief meetings for about an hour, where we kind of just go over what happened during the week, if there's any questions or concerns, maybe kind of share some victories and all that kind of stuff. And then the benefits, what's in it for you guys, because that's important too. So obviously you get the service learning credit, which is, pretty great for you guys. I know it's like a requirement for some schools. If you're in a volunteer club, it's required. You also get the interpersonal skills from sort of leading these sessions. That's good for just like personal development, but it also helps build your resume if you're like looking to get a job. It's also cool if like sometime down the road you might consider a career in early childhood development, education, that kind of thing. This is a really great way to kind of get a feel for that and see if that's maybe a career path you might be interested in. As I mentioned earlier, it's also an opportunity to kind of take a peek and see what is going on behind the scenes here at the library. And it kind of opens doors to other volunteer opportunities that we have here. And then you get to socialize. I don't know about you all, but sometimes these Zoom meetings can be a little bit impersonal. So this is a nice opportunity to talk to other people, like, your peers that are volunteering, and then also kind of, hanging out with kids. Yeah, first graders are pretty fun to work with. They could be, yeah, they usually say what's on their mind, which is a fun thing to to work with.
And then just kind of piggyback a little bit off of the benefits, I think that we could even toward the end of the program come up with some language for you all to use on resumes if that's what you would like. So just a thought toward the future a little bit there, to help you all, as you go out into the job market, maybe you're looking for summer jobs, all that stuff, we can definitely give you some support there. Moving on a little bit. So you would want to submit a teen volunteer application to Josh, and then he would process those. And then once you were onboarded, we would have you attend some training sessions to be able to gear up for the program and actually sort of see some of the materials on hand. So you would be expected to attend 2 1-hour training sessions. At the trainings, we would show you the books, the games, and the activities that library staff has planned as part of the curriculum of the Young Readers Club. So we've selected books that all have to do with social emotional learning, and then we took those books and kind of expanded them a little bit to create some games and some activities that would reinforce those concepts in the books, as well as reinforcing sort of like those literacy concepts that we're working on as well in the Young Readers Club. Some basic Zoom logistics and features. You guys are all probably Zoom pros at this point, but we would go over sort of how the breakout rooms are going to go and what the dynamic is going to be, since we're just going to be doing sort of a big Zoom meeting. And then in there, we're going to create smaller breakout rooms where the actual Young Readers Club groups will take place. In that point, library staff will be jumping around from breakout room to breakout room, making sure that everything's okay, and that everybody has what they need and things are going, well. We would also cover reading aloud strategies. You all probably know how to read at this point, but for first graders, they don't know how to read just yet. So we would cover some strategies that you can sort of use to sort of help pull out some of those skills from them, especially if they're a little bit shy or if they're having a little bit of trouble sounding out words and that kind of stuff. A couple of online classroom management skills as well. I know teachers make it look super easy, some of them, but it isn't always. So just a couple of resources and strategies to help you sort of, stay on top of things in the room. And as always, we're going to be there. So, if anything goes really, really intense, just let us know and we'll be happy to back you up. And then at the trainings, you'd also meet and greet with library staff. So I'll be there. I'm pretty sure Josh will be there. And then also my supervisor, Cynthia, and some of the learning guides who have created the curriculum for the Young Readers Club will also be there to help explain things and then you get to, meet a little network at the library that, in case you need a letter of reference or in case you, have a question about something, you can always reach out to us and we'd be here for you. So the training sessions, there's going to be 2 different sessions. The first one is on Tuesday, April 6th and Thursday, April 8th. It's during your spring break, and it's at 11 a.m. here on Zoom. We try to make it not super, super early so you could still sleep in on your spring break and enjoy it. But, 11 a.m. Okay, we're getting there. And then if you can't make that one because you want to enjoy, your spring break, you can come to the training session number 2, which is Tuesday, April 13th and Thursday, April 15th at 4 p.m. And that would actually kind of mimic a little bit the sessions for the Young Readers Club, as in you would sort of get the feeling of being in school and then, logging off that Zoom and then logging onto this Zoom to be able to join the Young Readers Club. Um, so I think that is pretty much all of the information that we have as of now. Again, my name is Sheridan Gazares. There's my contact information in case you have any questions. And Josh's contact information is there as well in case you have any questions. Feel free to reach out to either of us. We're working together closely on this, so we'll definitely be communicating if you have any questions.